We normalize the truth that everyone is recovering from something. And today's episode, we're going there, okay? Because I'm about to say something that might trigger you a little, but also might set you free. Everyone is addicted to something, not just alcohol or drugs, the obvious things. I'm talking about your phone, validation, chaos, toxic relationships, being needed, and even, yes, suffering. Yeah, I said it. And before you're like, Grace, I'm not addicted to anything, stay with me, okay? Because by the end of this episode, we are going to show you something that might completely change how you see yourself. The thing that you think is your weakness might actually be the pattern your nervous system learned to survive. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Your journey to joyful living begins when you stop judging your coping and start understanding it. I'm Grace Fraga, and I'm one of the co-hosts. And this is my co-host.
Lindsay Glass, hi, founder of Reach Out Recovery.
Yes, this is her brand. So I'm just here engineering.
No, you're part of the jam. I just
oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm kind of like an employee of Reach Out Recovery.
How about a partner? How about a collabing partner?
Okay, there you go. I like that. So let's roll with this because this is fascinating. Because I don't know about you, but we know that you're sober.
Yes.
But I know that I am addicted to my phone. I used to be addicted to validation and chaos and toxic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
yeah. So here's the thing, Grace. It's sort of human nature to find coping mechanisms. There's absolutely nothing abnormal about us wanting to find coping mechanisms that make us feel better. But when they get out of whack is when we need to decide. So let's talk about what is addiction really? We know this is one of my favorite topics. I write about it. Reach Out Recovery deals with it. But what we want to do today is kind of redefine how you think about addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Because most people, when they think of addiction, they just think of alcohol or substances.
Yeah.
Maybe they think of gambling, maybe they think of sexual stuff, but it doesn't really translate as naturally to think about addiction as crossing this gamut of stuff. But science, our favorite thing, science says otherwise. So, according to the American Society of Addiction Medicine, addiction is a chronic brain disorder involving reward, motivation, memory, and related circuitry. Okay.
Ooh.
So, in translation, what this means is your brain learned this, whatever it is, equals relief. And it doesn't matter what this is, right?
Yeah.
So what are some modern addictions? You said it before, your phone and social media,
Oh my gosh.
That's dopamine loops. And we're learning more and more.
I have two phones.
Grace. So we're learning more and more, though, through trials that are happening right now that people who designed social media, who designed our phones, they really did it with the intention of bringing us back to the phone. I read a really scary thing about, our tech people, which is basically their job is to keep us from being really connected in real life. That is absolutely their job. So they're going to try and keep us connected to social media and technology, and it creates this dopamine loop. What else are we addicted to, Grace?
Well, showing the comments. Hello, I see this is DL. Hi, DL. Good to see you. He's like a really smart guy and knows a lot of history of Europe because now that I'm in Spain, I have a lot of Europeans on my my subscribers. Hello, I see her with someone else. Nice to see her. Yes, this is Lindsay Glass. Please subscribe to her channel, DL. Definitely. Reach Out Recovery.
Thanks.
All right. That was it. Sorry. See, I had to show it.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
I had to. All right, girl. Keep going. Sorry.
All right. So the next one people really overlook a lot of the time is food.
Well, I was thinking about that today, actually.
What were you thinking?
Well, because now that I live here in Spain, I live in a big building, sea views, amazing. And every now and then I'm like, I have like a pastry shop downstairs and they sell fresh bread and baguettes. And then, oh my God. And I have a cafe that they know me there and they're like so nice to me. And so I'm addicted. I was actually this week, I'm trying to not be addicted, but I would go every day and get donuts, which are not as sugary as the US. They're like different because these are like homemade pastries.
Mm-hmm.
And St. Mala, which is like this big thing of a pastry. I mean, croissants and all these things. And every day I had to do it, kind of like to reward myself
Absolutely.
for something that I did that day, or overall, hey, you did great in life. Let's go get a donut, you know?
But
I,
that's exactly it, Grace. It's
yeah.
emotional regulation. We use
Mm-hmm.
food for emotional regulation. So it's
100.
like, I had a tough day, I need a treat. I had a really good day, I need a treat.
Yes.
And anything we do for more than a few days in a row is developing a habit.
It really is. But you know the thing, Lindsay, and we talked about this before. I'm really good at stopping. Like I become self-aware of something and I stop, or at least reduce it to, a 10%, right? So I just have to become aware, I'm not as addictive as I think I am, because I can just cold turkey stop something with no problem.
But that's exactly what we're doing here, Grace, awareness. Because once
Yes,
you have awareness about it, it's hard to keep going if you actually want to make change.
yes,
So, again, we're just planting seeds in your mind. But if you notice that you use food as a reward, to feel better, to when you're depressed, all of these things,
yeah.
then you can really say, hey, actually, I'm using food to emotionally regulate. So when I went into recovery, I heard something really, really helpful for me. Food is fuel. Like, we
Yes.
eat food to fuel our bodies.
Mhm.
Food was never meant to be gorged upon. We were never meant to eat the way some people are eating now. So when you start to really think about, well, am I fueling my body right now? Or am I just trying to regulate? Am I even hungry?
Exactly.
But we'll get into fixing them later. Here's another big one. And I think you're probably a little bit guilty of this one. I don't mean to judge. Work.
You don't want me to judge, you just
You're
did.
always you're always working. You work a lot.
Not anymore. Not anymore
Okay.
since I moved to Spain. See, this is one of the
Okay.
things to when
Cultural
you
change.
cultural change. They sleep siesta, so like all the shops are, not all, but most of them, from like 2 to 5 roughly, they're closed, right? And so you have to rest. You can't go, get stuff or whatever. And also people are more chill here. They don't live to work, they work to live, right? And to pay their bills and be able to survive. And so no, I'm not. I actually slowed down, and my life here is not as expensive as in the US, where I had to constantly work, or else I would not be able to pay my bills.
And I
um
I want to throw something out there about work. I think
yes,
that those of us who have social media accounts that are part of our business
yes.
really is a blessing and a curse.
I know.
I'm an author. I run Reach Out Recovery,
Hmm.
and the truth of the matter is, part of my job is supposed to be being on social media, having these big social media accounts. It's not my favorite thing.
Yeah,
I don't love dealing with social media all the time,
yeah,
and it also means you're on it. You're being confronted with everyone else's social media. So
yes,
I personally find myself in a bit of a quandary.
yes.
Sometimes I literally have to post for the week and put it away so that I don't have to open it every day and look at it. So if you are somebody who's in a business where you're looking at your social media all day because of work, I, I don't know what the answer is for you, but let's not
Yeah,
pretend that using
Yeah,
social media for work is not a little bit of it can be a slippery
it's
slope.
it's a lot. It's a lot, and I do lives a lot, and sometimes, handling the trolls, for example, is energy draining.
Absolutely.
And it's also it doesn't bother me what they say. They're so not creative. They're probably bots, some of them.
Right.
They all say the same things. I'm like,
Yeah.
I even tell them, can you please be more creative and make me laugh or make me
Right.
angry or something? But you're not getting any emotions from me. But like that, I love doing the lives with the positive people. That is amazing. Like DL is amazing. Um, and yes, we have to, like, I post a lot, and also we have to create. Now, the part of creating the videos, to me, Lindsay, that's a lot of fun. I'm creating a series called Travel with Grace. You guys subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and you'll see I have a playlist called Travel with Grace. And that to me is a lot of fun, and
Mhm.
putting them together. Now, posting and dealing with trolls, that's the part that kind of drains my energy. But
Absolutely.
so there's pros and cons, right, of social media. But you're right, we're on it almost 24/7, because you have to reply to the comments. You
Yeah.
have to, be nice to everybody basically, and accept the trolls. But it's a lot.
So I'm getting us real bogged down here. So I'm just going to run through the last two. The other big things that we're all kind of guilty of and we don't all talk about are relationships.
Hmm.
Lots of us are addicted to relationships, and
Right.
that can be all different kinds of
Hmm.
relationships. There's certainly the people who are addicted to romantic relationships,
Ooh,
but there are also people who get into really funky relationships with
yeah.
friends, coworkers, bosses. So relationships and what you're expecting from other people can be a place where a lot of addiction can show up, and it's also where your attachment patterns are going to show up. So if
Hmm.
you're an anxious attacher, if you're an avoidant, all of these things are going to play out in this relationship stuff. And then finally, drama. Don't tell me that people aren't addicted to drama. For
Yeah.
anybody who's listening, you may know somebody, they always have drama. Like I have a couple of people in my life to this day. You call them, you're like, how are you doing? Oh my God, you would not believe. Like they
Yeah.
just can't come up with something positive to
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
and that is wired into their system.
Yeah,
Um,
they enjoy it. They kind of
yeah,
feed off of it. Uh,
yeah.
I used to be kind of addicted for a while to romantic relationships, but then now I am actually the opposite. I go from extreme to extreme. That's interesting. That's probably some type of
Let's do
addiction?
another show on that. Yeah, that
Re-
happens a lot. Actually, that's a common thing. Actually,
Really
yeah, yeah. But that's a whole other slice of cake. So, well,
interesting. We should do an episode on that, I think.
yeah, yeah. We will because I have some real experience with that.
Nice, nice. Like you were saying, some people are not addicted to a person. They're addicted to how they make their nervous system feel.
That's right.
So it's all about the nervous system regulation, basically
Mhm.
addiction and lack thereof too, right?
Yep.
Interesting. Well, we have a fan story. I don't drink, I don't smoke, but I check my ex's Instagram 20 times a day. That's addiction to emotional stimulation and unresolved attachment.
So you want to know something creepy?
What is it?
Um, I was dating somebody a while ago, and I didn't realize that we both had like I could see when he was online on social
Yeah.
media. He had that on. And I remember somebody who worked with me had been in the Instagram and had been like, "Isn't this some friend of yours?" Like, he'd sent some message in the middle of the night. And because she had alerted me to this message, then I started going into the company account so I could see when he was online.
Mm-hmm.
And he was online all night, every night. Like suddenly I could
Wow.
see like who's on Instagram all night. And it's like if you're on Instagram all night, what are you doing? You're talking to people, you're doing shady stuff. And it was like
Yes.
I never would have known. But for several weeks, so the relationship ended, obviously, but for
Yeah.
several weeks, I was checking to see if he was on all night.
Yeah.
And I could see, and I was like, what is this guy doing on Insta? And he was no young chicken. This was like an older guy. And you're like, are you seriously talking to bots all night? Like, get a life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a weird addiction too.
But I got addicted to looking for a couple weeks. I was like, is he on again tonight? Like, what? Sorry.
I know. No, I hear you. I hear you. So if addiction isn't about the substance, then what is it about? Which leads us to segment number 2. So let's go. Go ahead, because you're the expert on this. So, I just read the fan stories and tell stories. That's my job.
There's some basic scientific breakdowns to all of this. So, what dopamine equals is it's actually anticipation. It's not pleasure.
Okay.
So your brain rewards, seeking, checking, chasing, but it's not getting a reward for receiving. Does that make sense? So it's like, I'm checking to see if he's on, and my heart starts to pound. But I'm not getting any kind of like good receiving from this. It's the checking and the chasing that's giving me some kind of reward. So studies show that dopamine spikes more in anticipation than in the reward itself.
Oh.
Okay, so why? Because the scrolling never ends. Because the texting someone feels addictive. You actually want to do it again to get, waiting for that beep. These toxic cycles just repeat over and over and over. So then there's the layer of your nervous system, right? Because if we were raised this way and we're, then chaos feels familiar. We're going to keep seeking it out. And people who feel calm or safe feel unfamiliar. So in a way, you might even go and sabotage the things that feel safe or calm because you're actually looking for that negative reinforcement that feels more normal to you and your nervous system. You might even not be totally aware of it.
Isn't that crazy though?
Yeah.
That's insane that we would do that to ourselves.
Right. Right, because we're not getting positive reinforcement at all.
So you don't go back because it's good, just because it's familiar, basically.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Well, we have a fan story. This person says, I finally met a nice guy and I got bored. That's not boredom. Actually, that's withdrawal from chaos. Interesting, right? Withdrawal from chaos.
So here's what people don't understand when they start personal development or self-help, right? So somebody says, I don't want to go out with guys who treat me badly anymore. And then suddenly they're going out with people who maybe have a different personality type. Somebody's working with them and they're going out and I go, well, I just don't have feelings for him. I just don't feel that spark. I just don't. So here's the thing. And I had a mentor who used to say to me, she'd be like, real love is not that passion. You meet somebody and sparks fly.
Right.
Real love is a slow burn. It's getting to know each other. It's realizing that they're going to be there for you when you need them.
Right.
So you have to train your brain. It's not that you're not attracted to them. Maybe you're not, but your brain doesn't even know what to do with this person yet. And it actually takes time and work to change who we're attracted to.
Right.
When I was in my 20s, the guys I was attracted to brought out something different in me than the guys I'm attracted to in my 40s, because now in my 40s, all I want is stability and somebody who's nice and normal. And I've trained myself to respond appropriately to that. So yes, joy isn't always exciting at first, Grace.
Right. And I'm the one with the journey to joyful living. If you look at the banner, and you're right, it's not exciting at first.
No.
Sometimes it feels like peace your body hasn't learned yet, right? Because peace and joy are actually high vibrational states of being, right? And for us to get there, we definitely need to clear addictions. We need to clear a lot of stuff. Having I mean, this is my personal opinion, but like I think a lot of things block the joy and the peace. And for me, it was eating meat that I didn't even know. I stopped eating meat, animal products in general, because of my cancer healing journey, right? Because I was hormone positive and I just was like, I'm going to go vegan. And that going vegan has given me a lot of peace because I'm not eating the energy of the animal when they're getting killed. And I feel it. I feel it. So it really has brought me closer to joy and peace in my life. And another thing is not to mix my sexual energy with people that really are just not worthy of it. I know it sounds cocky, but it's true. So, I keep that part of myself. If I ever find somebody interesting that is on my same journey, great. If not, and if you're clear, what I'm trying to say is that the chaos never got me closer to the joy and the peace when I was seeking romantic relationships. And in my case, eating meat, that's a thing for me. But once you cut the chaos out of your life, then the peace and the joy that I feel now, I never felt in my life. Also, withdrawing from the United States for me as a Latina and naturalized citizen has been incredible, like a huge healing, towards joy and peace, for example. So my point is, find out what is stopping you from being in that joyful and peaceful state of being. What addiction, what are you addicted to that's really blocking you from being joyful and peaceful? Yeah.
Okay.
That's all right. So if this episode is hitting you guys, take a breath with me. And if you're on your own healing journey, don't do it alone. And check out our resources, especially Lindsay. She has on reachoutrecovery.com. She has a lot of stuff on recovery and addiction because your healing deserves support and a little humor along the way too, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
All right, so let's go to but we're going to show a video. We're going to show a few videos, and here we go. All right. So that was my online store, you guys. If you go to stateofgraceshop.com, you can find lots of fun t-shirts, mugs, free guides, books, everything. So, all right, let's go to segment number 3. And this is hidden addictions you don't realize you have. Ooh, let's go.
All right. I'm going to jump right in, but I forgot. I always forget. I have to tell people Mother's Day is coming up.
Yes.
So I wrote a series called The Mother-Daughter Relationship Makeover, 4 Steps to Heal the Love. The first book was an Oprah's book club pick. The second book is the companion workbook. These books have been featured in over 100 media publications, including People, Business Insider, the Daily Mail, the Telegraph, 5-star reviewed. Both books are on sale for Mother's Day for $25. That's
nice.
like a $65 value. We never do that. So if you are interested in checking, if your addiction is your mom or your daughter, and
right.
don't get along, definitely go to Reach Out Recovery or Amazon. Check out the Mother-Daughter Relationship Makeover. The bundle is on the website on sale through Mother's Day.
Yeah, it's better if they get it through your website. Reach Out.
Yeah, better to get it through reachoutrecovery.com.
Better than Amazon for sure.
All right. So
All right, let's
hidden
go.
addictions you didn't realize you have. Now, this is another really big thing because you might be walking around like, why is my aunt so annoying? Or why is this person, acting this way? And what we're trying to do is not only create clarity for you about things that are going on with you, but clarity about other people.
Yeah.
So here's a really big hidden addiction that a lot of people don't understand at all: being needed.
Oh, yes.
So you may have somebody at work, somebody in your family, somebody in your life. What can I help you with? And I have a little bit of this myself. I'm a people pleaser.
Yes.
If I'm going to a party, who needs something? What needs to be brought? So the thought is, if I'm not helping, who am I? And the root cause is that if I'm not worthy, or if my worth isn't tied to something useful,
Yeah.
I have no self-esteem. Does that make sense? Am I saying that right? So
Yes, absolutely. But then I was thinking, like, a lot of people show their love through acts of service, right?
yes,
So where's the line between, okay, I am an acts of service person and the addiction of like, I need to be needed?
great question. I think, when people are reaching out and saying, hey, can anybody help with this today? And you're the person that's like, you know what? You're the good sport that's like, you know what? I can.
Hmm.
I think the person who needs to be needed inserts themselves.
Yeah.
So they ask to help without being, helped. And
Oh,
I certainly know people, it's like, "Oh, I'm doing this." "Well, are you doing it this way? And do you need my help with that? And is it gonna be okay
mm,
if you do it on your own?" I feel
yeah.
like that's kind of, leading into and I think you could see it a lot in romantic relationships.
Yeah.
Who gets insecure and really feels that if they're not needed by their partner, they're not doing things for their partner, why would their partner love them?
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. All right. What's another hidden addiction?
Emotional chaos. Um,
Ooh, that's a
Now
big
this
one.
is and I have a good example. It's fighting, it's intensity, it's drama, and it
Hmm.
often feels like passion, but
Hmm.
trust me, it's not. It's chaos, and what I always think is funny is you meet that person who's like, "I hate drama. I hate drama."
Yeah, and they're the ones
And
that,
yet they
yeah,
have romantic relationship after romantic relationship that's completely dramatic,
yeah,
or they're always fighting with a family member, or they're always having a work issue.
yeah.
Um, that is somebody who has not tied the fact that they participate in drama. So they're
Yes.
saying, I hate drama, but you're participating in it left and right.
Yeah.
So do you really hate it? Because you wouldn't be inviting it into your life on a
Yeah.
daily basis if you hated it. Um,
Sometimes, you just have to cut the drama and not engage. And if that means sometimes cutting out of somebody in your family, then do it.
Absolutely.
I'm a big fan of that. There's one person in my family I don't speak with because it's every time I speak to this person, it's torture and drama. And, this person is definitely not well mentally. But it's just, I decided not to have any type of relationship because it's just not worth it.
So that's healthy.
Yeah.
There's somebody who brings drama into your
Yeah.
life that you're related to, and you made a
Yeah.
decision not to get
Yeah.
involved with that
But we're
person.
talking like serious drama, like
No, I
dangerous
understand.
drama. You know
I
what I'm
understand.
saying?
Of
Yeah.
course I do. Now, I know other people who have dramatic people in their life, but continue to deal with them. And
Yeah.
then all
No.
they do is sit at family dinner and talk about how awful this person is.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, if it was so awful, maybe you just wouldn't deal with them at all.
Yeah.
So I have another one. I don't even think we all realize how much we do this, but
Yeah.
validation.
Yes. We all do that
And
to a
this
certain
comes
extent.
up, it comes up at work, it comes up in likes and comments on social media, it
Yes.
comes up in romantic relationships where you have one person that constantly needs to be reinforced that you feel, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I have to tell you, part of my relationship recovery, because I always like to add a personal element. We don't just sit up here and talk about these things because we think it's
yeah. Because
like
the experience, if we experience these things, then
yeah.
people can relate to that versus us, we're not preaching here. We're just coming from experience.
Yeah. And one of the things I practice in my relationship today, especially if I'm feeling needy, I try and keep my mouth shut.
Right.
Because it's like when I'm like that, that's not going to be helpful. It's
Yes.
when if I have something serious to say or talk about, that's one thing. But if I've just
Mhm.
gotten insecure about something, because he's traveling or whatever's going on, that is not the time to be like, do you love me? But do you love
Right.
me? You know? Um,
Absolutely. Well, I'm addicted to comments. So here, uh, Jordan says, amazing discussion, guys. Thank you for your insights. But you are very welcome. And here's Aiko from Japan. Hi, Aiko. So good to see you here on the State of Grace on our channel and on our podcast today. Thank you for being here, my love. All right. Now let's go back. I have to put the caption again. Segment 3.
you want
And
me to
there we
finish
are.
it up? We got two more.
2 more.
So,
Yeah, you do that. I do the rest. Go ahead.
okay. So the next one is busyness.
Yeah.
So the people and you know this person too. Maybe they don't even have a job, but they are busy with things. I have to go here. I have to go there. And it's an always doing, never resting.
I used to be like that all the time. Oh, I can't do that. I'm busy, busy, busy. Yeah, and that comes from overwhelm sometimes, but that's just my opinion. Go ahead.
Well, the root cause is avoidance.
You're avoiding to confront yourself, maybe, or to be
Yeah.
with yourself. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to be with who's at home.
That's another one.
Maybe you don't want to deal with whatever issues you're dealing with. Listen,
Mhm.
when it's time for a lot of people to go to treatment, they're too busy.
Oh,
I
really?
can't leave my job. I can't leave my family. I can't leave my dogs. Trust me,
Yeah.
we can find somebody to watch them
Yeah.
for you to go get healthy.
I
But
always say when there's a will, there's a way, period.
absolutely.
And that's been, whenever I give myself excuses about not doing something, that I'm like, you can do it. Shut up, Grace.
Yeah,
Stop excusing yourself. You can do this. You know what I mean?
of course. Of course. Listen, faith without works is dead.
Yes.
One of the problems I have, I'm a big believer in spirituality, but
Yes.
sometimes I struggle with religion because I feel
Mhm.
like, yeah, prayer and meditation are very, very important, but you
Yes.
also need to do the work. You need
Yes.
to work on yourself. You need to work on whatever your goals are. And that prayer and meditation will help. It will get you where you want to go. I believe it should be part of the pie, but it can't be the only piece of the pie. Um,
Absolutely.
the final one, and forgive me, but there's so many cultures, including mine, that live for this
Yes.
suffering.
I know
Oh,
the
the
Jewish people. She's
suffering.
Jewish. I know.
Oh my God. I have suffered. Being your
Oh
mother
my
has been
God.
so hard.
You know what? The Italians, because I am part Italian, they have that too.
Yeah. And it's this kind of I feel like martyrdom falls into this,
Yes. Yes.
but it's this idea that if I'm not suffering over something all the time, and identifying with pain, that you're somehow unworthy. And
Ooh.
people get away with it by being like, well, this is just who I am. But again, this is one way you developed. And if you wanted to be
Mhm.
different, we could help you find that way to be different.
Yeah,
But it's become a habit.
absolutely. And here's a truth bomb. Some people aren't addicted to happiness. They're addicted to the story that they can't have it.
Ooh.
And yes, that is a truth bomb. And let me give you an example. My mom was like that. She was like, she was always waiting for the perfect moment to be happy and at peace. And that moment never arrived. And there was always something that got in the way. She's the Italian one.
Yeah.
And there was always something that got in the way of that perfect peace, that it was a fantasy, because, peace is within you.
Yeah.
And joy is within you, and you find that within you. It's not in the external circumstances that are going to be perfect at some point, and then you're going to have perfect peace and joy. That's not going to happen, period. No. Not in this reality that we live in. It's not going to happen.
No.
So we have a fan story, Lindsay, and this person says, I say I want peace, but I always end up in stressful situations. That's nervous system patterning, not failure. Can you explain a little bit what that nervous system patterning is?
Yes.
Am I putting you on the spot?
No, absolutely. So what happens is we grow up in ways that basically wire our nervous system into certain kinds of behaviors. So what happens is if you're raised in a constantly stressful situation, or you had an alcoholic parent or a mentally ill parent, and things are always chaotic and dangerous and whatever, you're not coming from a perspective of things are going to be okay and I'm safe. Your nervous system was really wired to expect that things are going to go wrong, that you're not going to be okay. And basically, however these things develop when we're growing up, they live in us. And that's why people talk about rewiring. That's why self-help is hard. That's why change is hard, because you can't just read a book about it and think, oh, that's why it happened, I'm going to change now. You have to practice. You have to have strategies for change, and then practice them.
Change your behavior. That's for sure. And that's a full-time job sometimes.
A full-time job. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So now the real question becomes, how do we break the pattern? So our segment number 4 is going to be about how to break addictive patterns.
Well, this I am prepared for.
But let me tell you, I was like, oh, Grace, why? If the words were coming out of my mouth, I was like, no, don't ask her that.
Well, it's always funny. Yeah.
Yeah, but you did amazing. You answered the question beautifully. See, you are an expert on this.
There we go.
See? All right.
But this is what we do best here. We give practical tools.
Yes.
And the first thing, when you're talking about how to, hold on, let me turn that off. When you're talking about how to break addictive patterns, what we're doing right here, awareness, and awareness without shame. Okay. When you can actually give people the information they need, it's much easier to be less shameful about it. So what we want you to do is notice the pattern and not to judge it. We just want that awareness to interrupt it, right? So if you're sitting here listening and you're going, you know what? I do chase chaos. And you know what? My parents were really chaotic, and I grew up in chaos, and maybe that's why I'm doing it. It's not that we think you're going to be able to stop doing it tomorrow, but the next time you're sitting there bored and whoever it is that is chaos texts you, and that text comes in and you get that butterfly feeling or whatever that heart racing feeling is that makes you want to react, you might think, I'm going to pause right now because this is chaos coming to my doorstep.
Right.
And maybe I don't want to invite chaos in today. So noticing a pattern, not being upset about it. Hey, this is what my dad used to do to me. All right, I'm not in the mood to play this game today. I'm just not going to respond.
I love that.
Good.
Girl, you keep going with this because you're the one like you can talk for hours about this stuff.
Okay. The other big thing, and this is for addiction recovery too, specifically addiction recovery. Replace, don't remove. Okay.
Replace. Like, what do you do in recovery usually? You replace.
Well, here's the thing. So when you stop using substances and you change your whole lifestyle, you need things to do.
Yes.
So if from Friday night to Sunday morning, you were out engaging in behaviors that you found fun and that kept you busy, guess what? You need new things to do during that time. They're going to raise your endorphins, that are going to make you feel good and kind of get you where you need to be without actually using a substance. So we talk a lot about natural highs at Reach Out Recovery. You can get them from a host of different things. You can get them from exercise. You can get them from laughter. You can get them from community. You know, you can get dopamine from a lot of different places. So you don't want to just stop like, oh, well, so here's a good example. If you're somebody that loves to be needed and you love to be of service, but you're overdoing it with the people that you know, guess what? Go join a Rotary Club or a service organization.
Ha.
These are things that actually need people to volunteer on a weekly basis for different projects. So find places. I have a tip in my book, 100 Tips for Growing Up, and it's called Go Where It's Warm. Go to where people want that skill.
Yes.
So redirect, you know, so if you love eating, give yourself a different pleasure that isn't going to actually hurt yourself.
Exactly.
So if food is hurting you, you know, I've just taken up golf because I live in Florida.
Yeah. I saw a video of you playing golf.
I am playing golf. I am in this outfit because I was playing golf this morning. So I want you to know that golf, I am now trying to replace a few hours of scrolling and time that I spent in anxiety on the golf course.
That's amazing. I love that.
So that's a really big one. You don't need to take away what you're doing. You just need to find other activities. So instead of scrolling, you can walk and listen to music. Instead of texting your ex, like that text comes in, you know, journal about it. Even write the response that you want, but don't send it.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. I know. I can take over from here. So the bottom line is regulate your nervous system, right? That's another tool that is huge. Breath work is very important. Lately, I don't know why I've been having some anxiety, many anxiety, like 2-second anxiety moments because of a medication that I'm taking. And, you know, I do all those breath work. I move around. I go walking. I go out the window and look at the sun or my sea view that I have here that makes me happy and calms me down. I another thing, this is a good one. Whenever you have you feel that you're not regulated, your nervous system, look at like 3 things that are blue, for example, and ground yourself. Right? Grounding yourself, I think, is very important. It helps regulate the nervous system a lot.
Absolutely.
And regulating, scientifically speaking, regulating the nervous system reduces compulsive behavior significantly. Trauma-informed therapy research, that's what that is. So another one, go ahead and tell us number 4.
This is a great scientific tip too. I learned this when I got sober. Cravings only last 15 minutes.
Oh, they do? Really?
They only last 15 minutes. So I know a lot of people say 10, but 15 is actually the scientific time, as far as I recall from doing this work. So if you can find something to do for 10 to 15 minutes that will keep you busy, get out of your mind, the craving will pass. So even if you have to turn something on for a few minutes or, you know, I've been doing something, I've been having some anxiety lately.
Really?
And what I do is to get myself out of the thoughts, I will put on a sitcom for 10 minutes.
Nice. That always helps, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Putting on a show that doesn't stress you out. Don't put on your murder mysteries.
Oh my God, those like horror movies and stuff, my nervous system can't take it. I have nightmares afterwards too. Do you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't watch that stuff. But
Oh,
if you, I love the murder stuff, but I don't watch horror. I won't watch horror.
yes, I don't like the murder stuff because I've been watching Clans from Galicia because I'm in Spain. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch. My grandfather was from Galicia and they have an apparent gangs of Galicia. And they were like, unaliving people. I was like, I can't watch this at night because I
Yeah.
had nightmares after that.
Yeah.
So it's like we have to be careful what we watch too, what we feed our minds, with, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Still me says no one is taking away my YouTube.
Fair enough. And I totally respect that. 10
Yeah.
minutes on YouTube will make you feel great depending on what you're
But
watching.
it's not addiction because like when we're on YouTube, like still me comes to my lives and everything. And when we're on YouTube, it's like we learn from each other. So it's not,
Well, I think you can be connecting
yeah,
on those
connecting with
lives.
people.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I actually think that's a place where social media can lead to connectivity,
Yeah,
not isolation. But you're doing self-help online live,
a
so
hundred
that's a
percent.
different beast.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, you guys, make sure you tune in to Chat with Grace tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, and 8 p.m. Central European time. And here, Anita says, hi. Hi, Anita. Thank you for being here, honey. Thank you. I hope to see you again tomorrow, you and still me. All right. I had to do the social part.
Of course.
You know me. I have
Of
to.
course. I love your fans.
Thank you.
Um, and then the final question you want to ask yourself in these moments
Yes.
is, what am I actually needing right now? So
Hmm.
again, you want the donut.
Yeah.
Pause. Are you actually hungry or do you just want the donut? You want to text somebody. Do you actually want to go down the road of whatever's going to happen with that person, or do you just feel lonely?
Right.
Um, so what are you looking for? Comfort, connection,
Hmm.
safety. And then once you shine a light on it, you know, when I was doing cognitive behavioral therapy and inner child work, my therapist used to invite 10-year-old Lindsay into the room.
Ah,
And she'd say, Lindsay, because I dated some weird people and was doing some weird things at that time in my life.
girl.
And she would invite 10-year-old Lindsay into the room and she would
Yeah.
say to me, would you like 10-year-old Lindsay to go out with this guy? And I'd be like, oh my God, no.
Wow.
Would you say to 10-year-old Lindsay what you're saying to yourself right now? And I'd be like, oh my God, no. So really stop yourself in this moment. Like if I were 10 years old, what would I really need right now? Do I really need an ice cream cone or do I need a proper meal? Do I really need to get myself involved with somebody who might say mean things to me? Or do
Right.
I need comfort from a friend?
Exactly. We can choose. Hello, right? Yeah, there's
Yes.
choices. We're not
And
stuck with one thing.
when there's clarity, you can make a choice. Am I
Absolutely.
gonna feed the wolf or am I gonna feed, the bunny over here?
100%. Well, the bottom line is you're not addicted to the thing. You're addicted to what the thing gives you. And remember that joy, because this is the channel, my channel is the channel of your journey to joyful living. Joy grows when you meet your needs directly, not through detours that drain you. All right. So if you're loving this conversation, guys, share it with someone who needs it because healing spreads. And if you want deeper support, check out our programs. Lindsay has lots of materials on reachoutrecovery.com. And if you need relationship coaching or, private conversations with me, definitely contact me. And because we both mix science, soul, and a little bit of sass. So, all right. So let's go. We're going to show a video of what Lindsay's program does. So here we go.
Not getting along with your mom or your daughter, it's a unique kind of heartbreak. The strain can seep into every corner of your life. Your peace, your confidence, your other relationships can all suffer. The silence on holidays or days like Mother's Day, it's deafening. But healing is possible. I know because I've done it. And if reconciling isn't an option, healing, relief, and understanding are still possible for you. My book, The Mother-Daughter Relationship Makeover, offers 4 transformative steps to guide your journey. With revealing your backstory, you can uncover the roots of your relationship dynamics. With exploring your emotional and behavioral landscape, you can understand the patterns that shape your interactions. With discovering your triggers and repairing the damage of trauma, you can identify pain points and learn strategies for healing. And in step 4, you can either commit to the relationship you want or the new life you want by defining and pursuing the connection you aspire to have. See, here's the thing. No matter what your story, you deserve happiness and healing. And this book and 4-step process will help you get there.
All right. All right. So let's go to segment number 5. And that is Recovery Redefined. So go ahead, Miss Lindsay.
Okay. So the first rule of recovery is that recovery isn't perfection. It's only about progress. Nobody's judging you. Nobody's watching. Recovery isn't about never slipping. I was counting days on picking my fingers, and I relapsed and I ate my fingers. So it's okay. I'm going to moisturize them. It's going to be all right. And I'm going to get back on the beam. But we're all working with all of these things every day. So recovery, what recovery is, it's awareness.
Yes.
And it's making choices, and it's having compassion. So I really want to stress that it's having compassion, because if you hear what we're saying and you're like, oh, wow, maybe I do this or I do the other, and I'm so embarrassed right now. I didn't even realize, what I was doing. There's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Right.
Nothing that you're doing that we haven't all done. There is nothing you've done that other people haven't done.
Yes.
And nobody is out here being perfect. What we're out here doing is trying to grow and be a little bit better.
Absolutely.
So that's what recovery is about.
I love that. And basically, you don't need to become someone new. You need to understand who you had to become to survive.
And that's really important, because these skills that you have, you develop them because it's what kept you safe in whatever situation you're coming out of. So we never want to be ashamed. And by the way, everything I learned growing up that didn't serve me, I did learn how to rechannel into other things.
Right.
So these skills that you have, they may serve you in other ways later. So don't even feel weird about them.
Absolutely. Well, we have a fan story. I thought I was broken. Now I see I was adapting.
Excellent.
This person, thought they were broken, but they were adapting. And that goes with what you said earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with you, you're just.
Many people are just doing what they were taught.
Right.
And you don't even know it's not normal until you get old. And then you're like, wow, why isn't everybody picking their feet at the dinner table? And you're like, I guess we only did that in my family. Or
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, before we close, don't forget to subscribe to our channels and stay connected with us, because this is where healing meets real life. And we are going to go, and I'm going to show another video, and then we're going to go to the closing segment. Grab a glass, sit your mistakes down, honey, and let's see if they're your soulmate or your symptom. So remember that the woman must be complimented, right, Ashley? She loves the compliments that I give her. And you must say things like, you have lit me up like a bolt of lightning from the sky that strikes a house. Ready for some tips that are as bold as my lipstick and as sharp as my wit?
Psychic Priscilla, they call me the seer that doesn't see. But I see. I don't see that much.
Hey there, golf lovers. It's your favorite unicorn with a horn for golf and a mind for mischief.
To rub around them. Okay, is this correct, Jose? Is it okay?
Yes, perfect. You're the best, Grace. Oh yeah, keep going.
All right, and now we're going to go to the closing segment. And remember, guys, at the beginning, we told you that the thing that you think is your weakness might actually be your survival pattern. And here's the truth: that addiction kept you safe, helped you cope, gave you relief when you needed it. It's not your enemy, it's outdated protection. So again, you're not broken, you're patterned, and patterns can change. And remember that your journey to joyful living begins the moment you stop fighting yourself and start understanding yourself. And if this episode resonated, follow the podcast, share it with someone who needs it, and comment, what am I addicted to that I didn't realize? And if you're ready to go deeper, check out her coaching, my coaching, and resources at reachoutrecovery.com, mine at thestateofgraceshop.com, because healing doesn't have to be heavy. It can be conscious, compassionate, and even a little joyful, right, Lindsay?
Absolutely. Very joyful.
Yes. Apparently somebody is calling you. Somebody is. I'm telling you, what with all these electronics that we're addicted to, let's face it, we're addicted to all these electronics, right? I love when they start interfering with each other. Aren't they fun?
I know.
That might be the universe telling us something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'll see you guys in my streams, and Lindsay will see you on her channel. Stay tuned, subscribe, like, comment, and share, and we will see you in a month on Reach Out Recovery. Thank you for joining us.